Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. I am Brian, and today we're going to be going over a portable power station from Anker. This is the Anker 757 powerhouse, so it is kind of the little brother to the big Anker 767 powerhouse. But this unit here boasts a 1,229 watt-hour EV-grade lithium iron phosphate chemistry built inside it, rated at up to 3,000 cycles, which is pretty standard for these LifePo4 batteries. Once you get to 3,000 discharge cycles, this thing is rated to retain 80% of its original capacity. It also has a 1,500 watt pure sine inverter with 6 AC outputs built in on the front of this unit. Now this currently on Amazon is listed at $1,099 with a $200 off coupon. So that brings this thing down to around $899, which equates to, again, around 73 cents a watt hour, which is a pretty good deal for lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry and the Anker name. And I say that because Anker has been around quite a while. They're very well known for their power supply modules and phone chargers and things of that nature. And Anker is a very reputable brand in my opinion. And with that said, Anker provides a full 5-year warranty on this thing as well. But this review might be a little bit different. I'm just going to do a run and gun. I'm going to show you folks what I've used this for at my house, show you some testing, and hopefully give you the information that you need if you were looking at one of these power stations if you want to buy it. Because there's some quirks with this unit that I found that I think you might need to be aware of, but there's also some good things about this unit as well. So before I go over all the testing that I did on this house, let's come in a little bit closer and I will go over all of the ports that are on the front of this unit. So starting out, you have a pretty decent display screen. It's going to have all of your main information, your runtime to empty, your amount of watts inputting and output, and it's going to have icons show up whenever you start to utilize different USB ports or different warning icons that will show up if you get to that scenario. Now over here on the left, you're going to have your 12 volt 10 amp car cigarette charger adapter. And then this unit right here in the middle features 2 USB-C ports, one rated at 100 watts and one rated at 60 watts. And these are output only ports, as well as 4 USB-A ports rated at 12 watts apiece. And then to round things up, you're going to have your 6 110 volt AC outputs. And then up top, you do have your standard light that is actually a pretty decent light. Anker does a really nice job with these lights, I feel, because they don't have that big, bright blue, cool light on it. It's a very warm light, nice light, in my opinion. And then around on the back, you're going to have this flip down panel that is going to reveal your 11 to 30 volt 10 amp XT60 solar input socket, as well as your 110 volt AC charging input, as well as a reset switch there in the middle. Now let's move over here to this power saving switch toggle right here on the left hand side of the unit. This is what Anker is going to use to either make sure that this battery station does not turn off, or if it does not detect any power being drawn out of it, it will cut itself down. So my opinion is to always keep this power saving switch mode turned off or disable it, because this unit will shut down if it is not detecting any type of power draw. So it could shut down your 12 volt cooler. If you're running a CPAP machine and it's not running continuously, this unit will shut itself down. So to be safe, I recommend always keep that power saving mode turned off, because I like to be in charge of when this unit thinks it needs to be turned off, not the battery station itself. It's got a really nice build quality to it. It weighs around 48 pounds. It's got an aluminum chassis that it's built around, this unibodied design, so it is drop rated. It does have a flat top. It's got a couple of handles here on the side, so it's easy to move around with 2 hands, because it's not the lightest, but it is really truly built like a tank, just like all other Anker products. The quality and the buildmanship and the stuff all seems really well done. Okay, so let's just jump right into the testing that I put this unit through while I was here reviewing it. And the first test that I did was a DC discharge test. So I ran this unit all the way down to 0% from 100, and I was able to get 997.51 watt hours pulled out of it. I also did an AC discharge test where I was able to pull out 1,062 watt hours out of this unit from the inverter. Now I also wanted to make sure that this power station would keep my 12 volt cooler running at least through the overnight hours. So what I did was I hooked up the cooler to the power station, I started my stopwatch, and I let this thing run at about 45 degrees. When I came back almost 15 hours later, the cooler was still running and I was down to 85% on the power station. So I also wanted to test the inverter efficiency rating on this thing, so I charged it up to 100%. I started my stopwatch, and when I came back almost 10 hours later, as you can see here, I was down to roughly 86% of the battery. So I lost 14% of the capacity in 10 hours off of the inverter. Now, will this thing run an air fryer? It did pretty well in my testing, so at 350 degrees, that air fryer is pulling around 398 watts, and this unit ran it just fine without any hiccups, and it did not shut down, and it worked just fine running this air fryer here. I also wanted to see if this unit would power a water kettle. So if you need to heat coffee, I set this thing to 205 degrees, and it was pulling around 957 watts until it got up to temperature. And as you can see here, it successfully heated that water to 205 degrees without any issues. And I also wanted to check if this 1/3 horsepower pump could discharge water out of my pool. So I turned it on, and it was pulling around 516 watts and pushing water uphill into my drain. Now, to test out the inverter on this thing, I'm running 461 watts, and that is giving me 107 volts. I would have liked it to have been around 110 volts, but I am getting a perfectly clean, pure sine wave coming out of this unit, so it is safe to use with sensitive electronics. And this unit is whisper quiet, so charging at 1000 watts, I was getting between 34 to 36 decibels. This Anker also does have a UPS mode built into it, so you can see here when I unplug it from the back of the unit, these incandescent lights flash very quickly. That is how quickly power is transferred. And you can charge it by a solar panel. So this Anker 625 solar panel is rated at 100 watts. Very nice solar panel. However, it only has 2 kickstands, one on each side. I kind of wish there was one in the middle, but during this test, I was able to get around 84 to 85 watts being input into this power station, if you can see through that glare. And it does have USB-A and USB-C outputs as well built into the solar panel, so you can charge devices directly from the solar panel itself. So folks, overall, this unit did very well in all of its testing, and it didn't have any hiccups or anything that didn't work very well on all of the items that I used to test it out with. Just to kind of go back and recap, because a lot of people ask questions on how much solar it can take. This can take up to 300 watts or 11 to 30 volts. I wouldn't consider this unit to be an off-grid power station, so I don't really necessarily care that it can't get more solar watts than that. But there will be some people out there that would like to see this unit capable of more solar input than 300 watts. For me, it's a fine number, but it could be a con to you if you want to, throw in 500 to 800 watts worth of solar. This only takes 300 watts. And in terms of AC charging, it's 1000 watts max via AC home wall outlet. There is not a function to toggle that. You only get 1000 watts. I do wish that there was an option to lower that charging speed, because sometimes I don't want to stress these batteries out and put 1000 watts into this unit when I'm charging it, but there is no way to change how faster you can charge via the AC wall outlet. Which that kind of goes into some of the cons that I have about this unit. The fact that it only takes 300 watts of solar. You cannot adjust the AC charging speed, and there's no Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and some people might not find that a big deal, but that means you can't update the firmware. So if Anker were to go fix some things and make it a little bit more efficient, you can't really update this unit because it is not Bluetooth or Wi-Fi compatible. And the other minor thing that I found with this unit is, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, is the screen timeout. There's no way to keep the screen on for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You just have to hit that button, and within about 15 to 20 seconds, that screen cuts off. I wish there was a way that you could keep that screen running, because during the testing, I kind of found it annoying that I kept having to hit the display button to see where I was at. I wish there was some way to keep that screen on longer than what it's set for at the factory. And that's kind of it for the cons. Like I said, everything worked well. The build quality is fantastic. Anker is a reputable brand. You get a 5-year warranty. The efficiency on this thing was great, AC and DC wise. So overall, in my opinion, it's a pretty good deal at 73 cents a watt hour or $899, however you want to look at it. I don't know if that coupon is going to be valid for eternity, but that's what it currently is as of today posting this video. So folks, if I didn't cover something in this review, just shoot me a comment and I will get back to you, hopefully with an answer very soon. But other than that, guys, that is my review over this Anker 757 portable power station. Thanks for watching. Take care.